Wow. That was the post from one of the most powerful people on the planet about another. And then, poof, it was gone. But the story, oh, it was just getting started. All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into that huge controversy, Elon Musk's explosive claim linking Donald Trump to the Epstein files. We're going to look at the history, what the actual evidence says, and the political firestorm it kicked off. So, let's just get right into it. Now, a post like that doesn't just appear out of thin air, right? That tweet didn't just come from nowhere. It was really the climax of a political relationship that had totally fallen apart, turning from a public alliance into a very, very public fight. So, to really get what's behind this accusation, we've got to rewind a bit. We need to see how these two larger-than-life figures went from being allies to basically public enemies. It's a classic story of political convenience turning into public conflict. You know, it started off pretty well, actually. Early in the Trump administration, Musk was on board. He even joined a special counsel for government efficiency. But then fast forward to mid-2025, and that whole alliance just crumbles. Why? Fiscal policy. Musk goes public attacking Trump's big signature legislation, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. And that is when the gloves really came off, kicking off this whole escalating public back and forth. And I mean, listen to the language he used. This wasn't some polite disagreement behind closed doors. Calling the bill a disgusting abomination, whoa, that was a direct shot, a public challenge. That was the exact moment their feud went from, a private crack to an all-out public war. Okay, so Musk drops this bombshell about the Epstein files. But let's pause for a second. What are we actually talking about when we say that? It's a term that gets thrown around all the time, so it's super important we separate the hard facts from all the speculation out there. Right, so the Epstein files, it's not some single secret book hidden in a vault. It's really a collection of a bunch of different federal documents from all the investigations into Jeffrey Epstein. We're talking flight logs, his personal contact lists, all sorts of court papers. Now, some of these were unsealed back in early 2025, but you gotta remember, a huge chunk of it is still sealed or has a ton of blacked out redacted text. Okay, so let's break this down because this is really the heart of it all. What do we know versus what's just being claimed? First, has Trump's name appeared in any of this stuff? Yes, that's verified. It's in public flight logs and social calendars. But here's the kicker. Is there any actual verified evidence of wrongdoing in those files? The answer is unproven. And this is the most important part. The Department of Justice has gone on record to say there are no new indictments and no credible ties to him in the files. So now that we have that context, let's get back to the timeline. What happened next? Because after a claim like that gets made, the political world doesn't just shrug and move on. No way. That deleted post created a ripple effect that, honestly, we're still feeling today. You'd probably think, okay, he deleted the post, story's over, right? Well, in this case, it was the total opposite. That was just the beginning. Musk didn't back down. He actually doubled down. Yeah, instead of hitting retract, Musk just opened the floodgates. He unleashed a whole storm of related posts on his platform. He even started using his own AI, Grok, to pump out responses on the subject. And then he started making these really forceful, renewed calls for the government to release all of the Epstein files completely unredacted. He was keeping the story on the front page all by himself. So what was the response from Trump's camp? Well, his spokesperson came out swinging, pretty much dismissing the whole thing. They framed it not as some serious allegation, but just as the latest jab in their ongoing political feud. Trump himself just waved it all off, calling the entire controversy old news. Which brings us to the latest chapter in this whole saga, which just happened this past August. See, Congress put a lot of pressure on the Department of Justice with a subpoena, and the DOJ started to make a move. So the DOJ began releasing more of these documents to Congress. But, and this is a really key detail, they are still heavily redacted. I mean, they're protecting victim identities and other really sensitive stuff. And so far, out of everything that's been newly released, absolutely no new evidence implicating Trump has surfaced. So after all that, the history, the definitions, the political drama, it really all boils down to one central conflict, doesn't it? Let's put the core of this whole controversy right next to each other and see it clearly. And this is really it, the whole thing in a nutshell. On one side, you've got Elon Musk's claim that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's the real reason they're still sealed. And then on the other side, you have the evidence. The Department of Justice is on record confirming no new credible ties, and there is simply no verified proof of any wrongdoing by Trump in the files. So here's the bottom line. Musk's big bomb, it definitely reignited a massive national controversy. It created endless headlines, endless political theater. But when you strip all of that away, based on all the available information and what officials are saying, the stark truth is this: the files have not produced any proven guilt. And that leaves us with this final, lingering question, one that goes way beyond just this one story. In our world today, an age of instant global communication, when a powerful accusation can literally circle the entire globe in seconds, what happens to the truth? Does it have a fighting chance? Or does it just get lost in all the noise?